So here's yesterday's quiz. Hope you appreciate this video. Maybe two of you will watch it. That's what it is. All right, find the product of 2x squared minus 3x plus 5 and x minus 3. Use either the distributive property or the box method. I'm just going to do the box because it's actually quicker. But what do I know? I'm 45 years old. I've been teaching this subject for 15 years. I think I would know which one's quicker. But you just do you. X times 2x squared has always been 2x cubed. X times negative 3x has always been negative 3x squared. X times 5 has always been 5x. Negative 3 times 2x squared is a negative 6x squared. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Don't forget the x. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And they're going to combine like terms, starting with the largest exponent first, which is 2x cubed. If you put these two girls together, negative 6 and negative 3, you get negative 9x squared. If you put these two bros together, 9 plus 5 is 14. And finally, we have minus 15. I want to say this had about a 90% success rate. It was pretty good, actually. It was. It wasn't bad. The quizzes were not horrible to grade. There were some bad ones. There were some good ones. It was what it was. All right, so on these, we're just going to start here. And I'm going to use the double distributive property, x squared plus 2x minus 4x minus 8. Now, I had a lot of kids who didn't combine like terms. Bruh, third year of high school math and you still can't combine like terms? Something wrong. That's x squared minus 2x minus 8. And you still need this piece right here, x minus 5. So what you'll see me usually do is I'll usually use double distributive property on the small stuff because, I mean, it's quick. It's not hard. It's really not. And I'm going to box this thing out just because I need a better organizer. So one thing I don't like about the distributive property when things get big is organization. And organization is everything. X times x being x cubed, x times negative 2x being negative 2x squared, x times negative 8 is negative 8x, negative 5 times x squared is negative 5x squared, negative times negative is positive, don't forget the x on the 10, and then plus 40. And then like terms, we have an x cubed, we have negative 7 of these x squareds, we have 2 of these x's if you put them together, and we have 40. The kids who say I don't understand can't add. Fix that. Fix that. 3, most of the mistakes were made because kids did not distribute the negative symbol. Negative times negative is positive. You've been dealing with that since you were little kids. I don't understand what's wrong with you. Anywho, got 5x to the fourth. There's no x to the fourth over here, so 5x to the fourth. I have a negative 3x squared and a negative 4x squared. And if I put those together, it's negative 7, cubes. I mean cubes. A lot of kids would say like negative 1. That was pretty common. I have a positive 2x, add 3x. That's 5x last I checked. And I have a negative 5. I don't know why I wrote 6. It's supposed to be plus a 2. Negative 5 plus 2, which is minus 3. Something seems off about that. Maybe it's me. 5x to the fourth, negative and negative is negative 7. 2x plus 3x is 5x. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. All right, nothing. Just seemed off. Moving on to 4. Four went fairly well. It did. It probably also had close to a 90% success rate because you just had to remember like terms. I had a lot of kids who left off the 4x to the fourth. They just pretended it didn't exist. So I like to mark things off as I go. So now I'm here. I'm at the 3x squared and the 8x squared, which is 11. And some kids did not realize it was 11. What else do I have here? I have a negative 2x and a negative 6x. And if I put those together, I have a negative 8x. And the reason I didn't do the distributive property is because it was addition. Addition does not force sign changes. Never has, never will. And then I have, is this the same version y'all took? I have a 7 and a 9, which makes a 16. Let me pause real quick and make sure I'm not doing the wrong problems here. Sorry about that. I had in my head that maybe this was the wrong version. It's not. Boy, I had a lot of kids who missed number 5. You poor, poor creature. Like, that's a 4. Of course, I said when I made the practice sheet that kids would miss it. State the degree of the polynomial. It's a 4th degree polynomial. That's what she is. She is a 4th degree polynomial. Now, when you take all of this and put it together, you have a negative x to the even. We did that. Positive x to the even, high, high, negative x to the even, low, low. And, I know that you're sitting here saying, I don't understand. Bro, you had a TI-84 in your hands. You did. You had a TI-84 in your hands. You could have gone to y equals. You could have typed that thing in, which you had to do anyways, and you could have seen what the ends behave like. Your apathy is the problem. I'm tired of the excuses from y'all. That's what they are. Another reason we don't understand is the reason I am going back to traditional teaching is out of 75 kids, 20 of y'all wouldn't take notes. But you're going to sit here and you're going to shift blame to me for a you problem. You don't get to blame me. You don't get to blame your old teachers. The problem is solely in the mirror. People who don't do well blame others. It's not how it works. Looky there. She started low and she ended low. You can see that. She clearly starts low and she clearly ends low. I had a kid tell me the y-intercept was at 1, 1. I had a kid say the y-intercept was at 1, 1. That's where 1, 1 would be on a graph. You're a junior in high school. The y-intercept happens when you let x be 0. Remember, we let x equal 0. And Lord help you if you can't look at a graph and figure it out, but you can hit second trace, value, let x be 0, and there she is, 0, 0. The x-intercepts, man, this one was easy. You've got one here at -2, -1, 0, 0, and 1, 0. So you got a -2, 0, 0, 0 is one of them. I want to say -1. Yeah, -1, 0 is one of them. And then we had +1, 0. The values of any local minimums and maximums, these are just y equals things. I didn't want ordered pairs. Didn't want them. They're just y equals things. That's all they are. So this is going to be a minimum right here. Second trace, that's where everything is. Choice 3 is the minimum. I'm going to get left of the minimum. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to get right of the minimum. I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to press enter a third time for a guess. And all I want is the y value. And you shouldn't have rounded it. I mean, it was a perfect number. I don't know why you rounded it. It was -3.375. Would have been cool if somebody would have given me that as a fraction. Of course, nobody did. It'd be -3 3/8. The maximums are both the same. Second trace, 4 maximums. You only had to say it once. But I'm going to go after the left one. I'm going to get left, press enter. I'm going to get right, press enter. I'll press enter for guess. And I have a y value of 6. And I'm going to get the same thing over here, so I'm not going to do it twice. You should check it. I'm just saying it's twice. Of course, kids miss turning points. And again, it's because you didn't know what a turning point was because you never took any notes. There's 3 of them. Figure that out. I had one kid say x equals 3. What? No, it's just 3. Average rate of change. Milbrath was nice enough, gave you the formula. And this is A, this is B. And again, I had kids stop after they wrote this. Is this right? Yes, this is right. They stopped because after Algebra 1, you didn't know what F notation was. What is f of 6? This is not an Algebra 2 standard. This formula is not an Algebra 2 standard. What is f of 6? It means plug 6 in for x. It means find y. The F literally stands for find. Find y when x is 6. I'm sorry I'm angry. I just don't understand how you guys don't understand that. So I'm going to put a little emotion into it. Everything on a graph is under second trace. I want to know the value of y when x is 6. And there she is. Oh, wrong function. Got ahead of myself there. I need to graph the right function, which is x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 2x. And again, play along in a calculator. Minus 4. Anyway, zoom 6 it. And let's do the correct procedure now for f of 6. Find y. F is for find. Or it could be read as f is a function of 6, which means you plug a 6 in. Second trace value when x is 6. I get 656. Take away the value when x is negative 2. So second trace value negative 2. 32. By the way, the bottom's 8. And, you know, just do a little math here. You got what? 656, take away 32, and that's sitting pretty over an 8. Should be 78 if everything's done. And it is. This probably had about a 50% success rate. And, like, it's been that way. I have talked about average rate of change since early August. So it's about time you figured it out. It's an Algebra 1 standard, not Algebra 2. I'll be right back. You know, I had kids miss part 1. I did. What happened was they would put they'd put some wrong numbers in here. Now, the initial velocity is 5 feet per second, so plus 5t. But they would put the 5 miles right here. You don't mix units in math. You either have to be everything in miles or everything in feet or everything. I'm not sure where that left off. It just popped up and told me that I had stopped recording. So anyways, kids were mismatching units here. You should have put plus 26,400. Everything had to be in feet. Feet per second, feet. Using your TI-84. Okay, so let's go to y equals. That's what we're going to do. And a lot of kids miss this. I mean, a lot of kids miss this. You got negative 16x squared plus 5x, probably because you don't play along in your calculator. You don't. Some of you guys, for the love of you, you just can't even type the equation in correctly. You can practice at home at ti84calc.com. We'll take you there. And I'm just going to hit zoom 6, even though it's useless. It's useless because there's a text box over here where Milbrath gave you a hint. It says, brah, you will need to adjust your Y max to about 27,000 because he starts at 26,400 foot. And likely adjust the Y max to look to the right. So let's do the first thing I said. The first thing I said was adjust the Y max. And I even gave you the number, 27,000. A graph. This is actually probably enough to get the maximum. So let's go to second trace, and 4 for maximum. And I'm just going to take my little cursor and I'm going to get it somewhere off to the left where I know that the graph is falling. I'm going to take my little cursor and I'm going to get her somewhere off to the right where I know that the graph is falling again, because the maximum would be somewhere in between those two things. I'm going to press enter. Now I'm going to press enter for guess. And there she is. It was 26,400.391. That was the maximum height, by the way. 26,400.391. The time is the x value, 0.1562. That's in seconds. And I did see some kids use opposite b over 2a. You didn't have to. Part 3 is where there's a safety net, and it's 100 feet above the ground. This is a real thing, too, by the way. I mean, go on YouTube. People do skydive without parachutes. But in order to see these two things cross paths, you're going to have to look to the right, because it's happening somewhere over here, isn't it? I'm going to go on a quick guess. I'm going to say x max is 50. It's actually not a guess. I mean, I know what the answers are. I'm going to hit graph. You just keep looking right, like you learn to play with a window. And then solutions happen where two things cross paths, where they intersect. And every feature you're going to use on a graph is second trace. So second trace 5 for intersect. And it's close enough to the intersection. Enter, enter, enter. Done. 40.6997. I took 40.7, whatever. 40.6997 is what I'm going to write. 40.6997 seconds. Now, if you chose to get rid of Johnny, he would hit the ground. So here, the height is 0. We're going to put a 0 into the other equation here. And it's still going to happen with the same window. So second trace 5 intersect. I mean, he's booking it. He's probably hitting that net at 160 miles an hour now. In the real world, though, he would have slowed himself down with air resistance. But anyways, enter, enter, enter. 40.7767 seconds. Some of y'all round like you're in 3rd grade. You do. I can't stand it. I don't know why you round the way you do. An open-top box has a volume, and I gave it to you. It is the formula is given to you. In words, how do we read V parentheses X? I had a kid tell me it stood for velocity. Volume. It's right there, volume. Volume as a function of X. Find a reasonable domain for box. We've talked about this 3 times when we took this quiz. We talked about this. The height must be bigger than 0. The width must be bigger than 0. The length must be bigger than 0. 2x less than 16, x less than 8. 10 greater than x, x less than 10. Throw it away, because this one has already taken priority. I'm bigger than 0, but less than 8. If we wish to maximize the volume of the box, what should x be to the nearest hundredth? I doubt more than half of you got this right. I doubt it. And it's sad. It is. And I kind of want to get angry about it, because let me show you how easy this is. I don't understand how you can watch this and say, I don't understand. I literally type the function into Y1. I'm going to do a zoom 6, and I'm going to play with the window. I don't buy, I don't understand on problems of this level of difficulty, because this is not difficult. I'm going to look up, because a maximum is a high point. I don't know what it is. Let's just try a Y max of 100. I'm sure that's sufficient. I don't remember what it was. If 100 wasn't enough, I'll look up higher. And it wasn't enough. Okay. Let's try 400. There she is. We're going to hit second, trace, 4 for maximum, because I want to maximize the size of the box. The left, enter. Is the right? Enter. Enter for a guess. 2.944. Actually, that'd be, if you round to the fourth decimal place, 2.9450. Of course, I took variations of this, but 2.9450. The bonus is, what is the extraneous x value where the box has no volume? That kind of hinged on you realizing this, that x had to be less than 8. You'll see right here that there's a x value where the box has no volume at 10. And it didn't matter in the first place now, did it? Because it didn't make sense anywhere past x being 8 or bigger. So it's x equals 10. And there you go. There's that quiz. By all means, please take the retake. Please take the retake. Please start figuring things out. I mean that. Please start figuring things out.